going on, Yu-Gi-Oh fans? PlotArmorCards in the house, and I'm coming to you with my updated Scareclaw deck profile from Post Power of the Elements. Now, of course, if you like what you see, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And now let's just get into the deck profile. So first of all, I am going to be running 3 copies of Scareclaw Reich Heart. Now, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I suck at pronunciations. So this card is really good for this archetype, I would say, overall. You can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone adjacent to a Scareclaw monster you control or in its column. You can only special summon Scareclaw Reich Heart 1 per turn this way, and if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Scareclaw spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then if there are 3 or more defense position monsters on the field, you can draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Scareclaw Reich Heart once per turn. It's a great card, great searcher, plus it gives you extra draw power. So I honestly believe that this card should be run at 3. Next, I got 3 copies of Scareclaw Balone. Now, Balone is also really good. You can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone adjacent to a Scareclaw monster you control or in its column, which pretty much is how all the Scareclaws work. If your Scareclaw monster is in the extra monster zone, attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. So this has potential to enable a lot of different plays. However, I mostly use it just to get a body on the field to be able to link summon or to XC summon or whatever I'm going to be doing from the extra deck. However, that secondary effect is actually really good, and I would try, or at least I'm going to try personally, to try to use that second effect a little bit more because I want to be able to use it to its fullest potential, I would say. Next, I got 3 copies of Scarecrow Acro. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Again, its effect is the same, so you can special summon it from your hand to your main monster zone adjacent to a Scareclaw monster or in its column. You can special summon 1 Scarecrow Acro once per turn this way. Your Scareclaw monsters in the extra monster zone gain 300 attack for each defense position monster you control. So it gives your monster some boost, but again, this is a great way. These cards special summon themselves very easy, and it's very easy to use them as material to get stuff out from the extra deck. So for sure, I would definitely recommend playing as many of the Scareclaws as possible, just because they're really good special summons. So lastly, for the Scareclaws, I like to play triple Scareclaw Astra. Now, Astra has the same special summon effect, but its effect is your Scareclaw monsters in the extra monster zone can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of defense position Scareclaw monsters you control with different names. So it gives it that boost, but obviously it does provide another body on the field for lots of different plays. Next is the 1 copy of Visa Starfrost. Now, I'm going to experiment with this in the future, maybe try to run it at 2. However, I think it works really well at 1, but it is a tuner, so you do have potential to make things like Borload and Baron de Fleur. So I would definitely, I think I should try it at 2 just because those cards are really good, and they really would help boost the stick. So next, I like to play 2 copies of Parallel Exceed. In an ideal world, I would probably be playing 3 of these, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep it to exactly 40. So if I wanted to go over 40 for sure, I would be running 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. But for now, just because I'm trying to keep it at exactly 40, I decided to go with 2 copies of Parallel Exceed. And then I like to play 2 copies of Alpha, the Master of Beasts. This card works so well in this deck. This is insane. So most of your Scareclaw monsters, let me use Scarecrow Acro as an example, 0 attack. Then let me pull out Balone, 0 attack. So you can pop off a lot of different combos because your monsters a lot of the time will have less attack on the field than your opponent's monsters. So therefore you can bring this out. Plus a couple of them are beasts. So you can pop itself plus them in order to pop a lot of different cards your opponent controls back to their hand. It's a good way, I would say, to just remove annoying cards your opponent may have from the board. And then I like to play going into the hand traps. But before going into the hand traps, I just wanted to, I guess it's like a special mention. Rescue Cat, I believe, is a decent card that can be used in this archetype. Rescue Cat overall, I think would help, but in my experience, it does get hand trapped pretty often. And so that's why I decided to cut it out. I did use it in my last build of this deck, but I decided to go for Alpha over Rescue Cat in this situation. So definitely that is something that you can try out if you feel like works better in your situation. And then next are the hand traps. So I'm playing triple Ghost and triple DD Crow. Now, you obviously can play anything that you feel suits the situation. These are just 3 that I'm using as an example. If you want to use Ash Blossom, you can throw in Ash Blossom. You want to throw in really any hand trap, you can go ahead and throw that in. These are just the ones that I use for now, and they do change based on what type of opponent I have and what I am side decking. Sometimes I throw in Nibiru and whatnot. So next are the spell cards for this. So I like to play a playset of Primitive Planet Regphobia, the field spell for this archetype. When this card is activated, you can add one Scareclaw monster or Visa Starfrost from your deck to your hand. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each defense position monster on the field. If there are 3 more defense position monsters on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. You only activate one of these cards per turn. So this card is insane because not only is it a searcher, but it also pops a body off the floor. Plus, with the new Link 1, it is insanely even more searchable. So that's why you're probably wondering, why isn't he running Terraforming? It's because the Link 1 actually works pretty well at searching it. So I didn't want to be a little too redundant by including Terraforming in there. Next, I like to play 3 copies of Scareclaw Arrival. Now, I think this card is really, really good. Target one Scareclaw monster or Visa Starfrost in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense mode. If a Scareclaw Link monsters you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, this is kind of like a Return of the Dragon Lords type thing for this archetype, which honestly is great. But you can only use this effect once per turn. So the second effect is once per turn. The special summoning from your graveyard is not once per turn. So that's kind of crazy, and that's why I run 3, because it has insane extension ability and insane ability to just step on the gas with this deck. So that's why I like to run 3. Then next, I like to play 3 copies of Piri's Map. You could pay, at the start of your main phase, 1, you can add a monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand, but pay half your life points. And then I think its effects are negated unless you normal summon it. So great card because it searches a couple different cards in this deck, and it really does help just being able to search. Next, I like to play the 1 Reinforcements to the Army. Add 1 level 4 Laurel Warrior type monster from deck to your hand, then shuffle. That does search a couple different cards in this deck. And then I got Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is just to get around pretty much any hand trap, really. But I think overall it is necessary. And I'm trying to make sure... Reinforcements to the Army searches Scareclaw Reichard. I just wanted to make sure I had the correct card. So next, moving forward into the trap cards. So for negation purposes, I like to play triple Infinite Impermanence. And on top of that, I like to play 3 copies of Gorgon's Eye. Now, these are options. However, I am not playing any copies of Alternative or Slash. I think 1 Slash would probably be best. But like I said before, I'm trying to keep it to 40. So if I were playing a little bit more, I think I would play 1 Slash and maybe 1 Alternative, but I doubt it. I think I would go with the 1 Slash. But overall, I think this build is really good. The one thing you do have to watch out for is the Link monsters. If your opponent gets out a Link, you need to be able to handle it properly, which is why I have Alpha, because it does help get the annoying Link monsters out of the way, and so you can continue your combos. But now moving on for the extra deck. So first of all, for the extra deck, I like to play 2 copies of the new Link 1 Scareclaw Lightheart. Now, this card is insane. It just takes a Scareclaw monster or 1 Visa Starfrost. So very easy to bring it out. This card is link summoned. You can only use monsters in your main monster zone as material. If this card is link summoned in the extra monster zone, you can add 1 Primitive Planet Reichphobia, so searches your field spell, from your deck to your hand. And if you control Visa Starfrost, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only activate with this effect of Scareclaw Lightheart once per turn. So it has the insane ability to recycle itself, which is another reason why I want 1 more Visa Starfrost, essentially, in my deck. But I also like to play 2 copies of Scareclaw Tryhard. Now, Tryhard, it just takes 3 effect monsters, so it might be worth running in a couple different decks, actually. But must be link summoned. All face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position, unaffected by the activate effects of defense position monsters. Once per turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you can target 1 level 3 Scareclaw monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, add 1 Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand. You also cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except Scareclaw monsters. So something to think about. Again, if I had my way with this, I would be running 3 and 3. It's just the other 2 cards are coming in the mail right now. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have 3 Lightheart and 3 Tryhard. So I do have a couple cards that I just threw in as filler, but I feel like are options. So you can just look at what I got, and based on that, you can see what is worth it to you. So I'm playing 1 copy of IP Masquerena, the 1 copy of Saruja Skulldread, 1 copy of Salaman Great Elmirage, just a good link 1. one copy of Nightmare Unicorn, one copy of Nightmare Phoenix. And then going into the XC's monsters. So because we have a couple different level 3s, I decided to throw in number 75. I'm trying this one out for now. This probably will get switched out, but I'm playing one copy of Ashura King just because it's new support, and I definitely wanted to test it out. However, it takes 3+ level 3 monsters, so it's not that consistent because not all of my Scareclaw monsters are level 3. I believe it is Acro and Balone that are level 3, but you won't, a lot of times in my experience, you won't have multiple copies of Acro, multiple copies of Balone out. So it's just something you need to watch out for, and I think this doesn't come out as often. So once I get my third copy of this, is probably one of the cards that's going to come out if I get a third copy of my Link 3 or my Link 1. Next, I like to run number 41 just because it has a similar effect to where everything can be switched to defense mode. It's pretty interesting, I would say. Next, I like to run a copy of Abyss Dweller just to negate stuff in the grave. Next, for the Synchro Monster. So one copy of Borlord Savage Dragon. Just because we are running links, so it does help out in this deck to give it a couple more negates. And one copy of Cloud Castle. Now, if I had the money for it, definitely Baron Diffler would be in this. Would definitely recommend that you use Baron Diffler if you have that have the potential for that card. Also, any generic level 8s work really, really well. Like the Virtual World card that banishes everything on the field, that could be pretty decent as well. It's just some whatever you feel like helps your strategy out the most, I would say. Overall, this is really, really fun deck to play. I try to keep it as gas as possible, so just, just put my foot in the middle, but pedal on the middle. Did I say that correctly? I think I did, okay. But I included the trap cards just because something like Gorgon's Eye, the end of, until the end of the phase, all effect monsters on defense position are negated. That is insane, and that can completely shut your opponent down. And so overall, I think this is great card, great deck overall. And it has the potential to spam out so many different monsters, which is why I love it so much. So much fun to play, guys. Really, really fun. I think a couple more pieces of support maybe in the extra deck, and this deck definitely has potential. Next time at my locals, this is probably going to be the deck I take, so we'll find out, see if it's any good, right? But anyways, guys, this is PlotArmorCards signing out for the day. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And oh my goodness, look at the time.
It's time to do